Hello everyone and now welcome to a game between XlorD versus ToD. This game taking place here on Autumn Leaves. Gonna go ahead and speed things up as XlorD has spawned as the red undead player on the bottom left. Meanwhile ToD spawning as the yellow human on the top right. It is gonna be a Death Knight versus Archmage matchup as we quickly come across the 2-minute mark and see a Death Knight already out onto the battlefield picking up a Rod of Necromancy and heading off to the north. Meanwhile, Archmage gonna go move here and begin his creep pattern as well. Both sides clearing out those green creep camps to pick up a decent item, and ToD's favorite item to bash on, Ring of Protection +3, dropped by that unit there. Ring of Protection +3, Archmage now having what is that? 18% more effective hit points, what comes out to be, I believe, about 80%, 80 more effective hit points there, all things considered. Making moves back across the map here, going to finish off this Frost Wolf and Null Brute creep camp as the Death Knight, without Unholy Aura, making his way out across the map as well. Death Knight does pick up a Circlet of Nobility, very powerful item early on, an additional 50 hit points, a little bit more damage, a little bit more mana, all the things that a hero wants to have early on in a game. Archmage is sitting at level 2, does have a Cloak of Shadows, trying to stay away and hide from this Death Knight of XlorD. XlorD going to be coming around the corner, and then Archmage says, surprise, I was hiding right here, getting in one fireball attack as the Death Knight now looks to retreat back. Archmage doing a good job putting the pressure onto that Death Knight here, as the Death Knight just really wants to land in some attacks onto this Ogre Magi and prevent easy creeping. Militia now making its way over, double Water Elemental as well. This Water Elemental going to go ahead and engage, start taking quite a bit of damage before quickly getting taken down. Acolyte now back across over here. Death Knight has to be careful. Could easily end up getting surrounded as, Acolytes are getting taken down. Skeletal minions are going to get taken down. Experience given to the Archmage still, as the Skeletal minions now going after some of those peasants who have turned already. Death Knight may be able to get the experience. Yes, does get the kill off on that Ogre Magi. And now going to pick up the Tome of... Nope, does not pick up the Tome as he's able to get blocked back out. The Tome of Strength and the Mantle of Intelligence +3 are going to get finished off there. Beautiful denial by ToD to deny that peasant there from a footman with a footman attack. Meanwhile, all the peasants here should be trying to set up an expansion. This matchup, if you've never heard ToD cast before, this matchup is perhaps ToD's least favorite matchup as a human player, as a lot of human players just don't know how to deal with the undead and their ability to nuke down enemy units, and then also have to deal with destroyers. The fact that destroyers are anti-magic makes it very difficult to use their strongest anti-air unit, the Dragonhawk Rider and the Shackling ability. Add in the fact that the Crypt Fiends now have a natural ensnare web ability that can stop the channeling on those Dragonhawk Riders, even if you could cast it, makes it a bit of an uphill battle still. All right, Skeletal Minion about to get one more shot off, takes down the Peasant as the Death Knight now has been backed into a corner. Archmage, not holding the door very well at all. We're going to see the death of a Crypt Fiend as the Scout Tower quickly gets taken down. All right, it's going to be the race to level 3, and it looks as though, Death Coil, Archmage gets up to level 3 as a Skeletal Minion, ending up not finishing off that Peasant right there. Only 1 or 2 more shots necessary. Peasant trying to do something now, trying to back away once more. There's denial once again as ToD doing a great job making sure that the Death Knight doesn't get too much free experience, as indicated by all of those exclamation marks. More skeletal minions dropping back out onto the battlefield for a short time. There are going to be 3 water elementals, now down to 2, finishing off the last couple of those skeletal minions. Hello, Grota. No, Grota, hope you're doing okay. Do you know why Tho and Infi quit the professional scene? They were really at a good shape at that time. Training for the professional scene and is very different than just streaming and live streaming and being an entertainer. It's the difference between grubby and happy. Grubby actually can make a living for himself just streaming and being entertaining, and I think that's what both Infi and Tho were doing. Whenever they stream, they still get a large amount of viewers, and I believe they still have sponsorships from last what I've read. So Long story short, how come? Because Infi and Tho can, well, step away from the professional scene, not have to train nearly as hard, work as hard, and still have well, a comfortable life doing what they enjoy doing, which is playing Warcraft 3. Water Elemental trying to deny some more footmen there as well. Dustwall Dweller, hello, how are you doing? Footmen more making their way off in the north. XlorD is already teching to tier 3. That Orb of Corruption is going to be coming online here in just a moment, and that is going to be a very big deal. And as I say all of that, that is just my pure speculation. Both Infi and Tho, when I heard that they retired, were still actively playing Warcraft 3s. So it may just be, yeah, it's easier for them to have to stream and enjoy the benefits of a stream rather and just interacting with the stream rather than trying to train for the professional scene and all of the things that come along with it. Footmen, Water Elemental making their way back off to the north. Tech to tier 2 nearly done. Additional towers now being added, as well as we are going into a blacksmith and an arcane vault. We're going to be looking at the human or ToD trying to.
A player's forces are under attack.
We're going to be looking at ToD trying to hold on to these expansions here. Meanwhile, back on the bottom left-hand side, Ogre Magi getting in a little bit of, well, in the way of this bit of pressure. Archmage is still seeing that 3, and the Death Knight does get the Death Coil off. Not quite sure what item was dropped there or who got the tome. Looked down a little bit too much. Didn't they organize their own tournament recently? TP Cups, though, Infi Lala. They may have. They may have. You'd have to. I've been trying to keep up with Warcraft 3 news, but in the past couple of weeks, I've been having a bit of difficulty trying to take care of my children as well.
A player's forces are under attack.
Coming back off to the top right, Crypt Fiends, Lich, Obsidian Statue, putting pressure, going to shoo back ToD here. But ToD isn't really doing all that much as of yet. He is going to use his economic advantage and blow into tier 3 as well and try and put in a large amount of pressure. There are already Obsidian Statues out here onto the battlefield. Orb of Corruption, Frost Nova, Archmage going to try and retreat back here down to 229 hit points as the remaining footmen, well, all moving very, very slowly, unable to get any true damage here. And this may just turn into experience for XlorD's Death Knight and Lich. Units are now going to try and retreat back. Lich doesn't have enough mana for a Frost Nova, luckily, as those footmen do have a chance at escaping. Mountain King has joined in on the battle. Cloak of Shadows hiding that Archmage, as we're looking at the Death Knight of XlorD and the Lich trying to clear up more difficult creep camps once again. Negative armor, bonus damage being absorbed here as the Lich does get up to level 2. Archmage shows up. Mountain King could turn things back around, and here we are, straight up engagement. Stormbolt onto the Death Knight. Death Knight does have a Scroll of Town Portal, will be able to back away, try and burn that Scroll of Town Portal from his opponent down to 137 hit points. Mountain King still chasing after the target, going after the Lich instead. Death Coil is right there. Lich going to get in off of Frost Nova, but the Orb of Corruption is going to bring him back. Mountain King now trying to back away again. We see a little bit of damage. Stormbolt onto the Crypt Fiend. Crypt Fiend's going to take a little bit of damage. Lich is back into play, nearly full hit points at 500, as the Mountain King still trying to stay close enough nearby to get a bit more experience. Is the Mountain King going to get taken down to 79 hit points? And one Crypt Fiend, 2 Crypt Fiends are actually left behind, but it doesn't look like ToD realized it could have taken down those 2 Crypt Fiends very, very easily, but didn't want to stick around, as XlorD's, well, Death Knight and Lich most likely very much coming in from behind and would have cleaned up the Mountain King, taking this opportunity to get in a bit of heals and a Clarity Potion on that Mountain King as well. All right. One footman getting taken out right there. ToD sitting at 49. Supply here, trading up perhaps more peasants. Not quite sure what it's looking to train up here. We are going into flying machines, excuse me, to try and deal with those destroyers, which will, well, be causing quite a bit of problems in just a little bit. Mountain King finishing up Forest Troll Trapper, sells a couple of items, picks up a Potion of Lesser Invulnerability, and now going after the Forest Troll Berserker. Mountain King does sit at level 2. Is it going to go for Bash or Thunderclap? That is the next question, as the Archmage does have Orb of Fire to try and prevent, last second heals on that Destroyer. As the Paladin joins the third and final hero of the human army, we are looking at Arcane Sanctum. We are also, dual Arcane Sanctums, one single barracks. I don't see any knights out here onto the battlefield to try and deal with the Crypt Fiends, as it is still a 49 supply compared to 49 supply battle. ToD has been spending a good amount of gold on infrastructure and should also be spending some gold on upgrades here, as well as we are getting level 2 weapon upgrades for those swords. As the footmen finish things off here, Potion of Greater Mana being left behind. Mountain King gonna pick that up with no problem whatsoever. Archmage may try and go after this red creep camp here, but, well, the Undead of XlorD already has some other ideas. Spellbreaker's trying to be, trained up here. Peasant's gonna get taken down. Mortar team upgrades. The fragmentation charge are going to be added in, as well as we're looking at, Destroyer trying to finish off some of those peasants. Army is just simply going to be walking their way back over. 58 supply compared to 49, as the Crypt Fiends are looking to deal large amounts of damage. Fly Machine looking to perhaps get some flak damage onto that Destroyer, as the Paladin now leads the charge here. All right, in comes some damage. Death Coil, Frost Nova, Stormbolt, Holy Light. Paladin quickly getting burst down before trying to get taken, or before backing away. More damage getting added in, but Scroll of Town Portal, burned away as a Fly Machine was taken out as well. 51 over 84 supply. ToD did lose a level 1 Paladin, but that should be resurrected very, very easily, quickly, and efficiently. Back on the other side, Fly Machines looking for any destroyers. Death Knight of XlorD using this opportunity to continue to clear more creep camps and be very aggressive out on the battlefield. Lich now having an additional claws of attack +5. The auto attack on that Lich can get rather scary. XlorD better get a Dreadlord or a Panda. Trying to get something to deal with those Fly Machines could be key here. XlorD does have a level advantage, level 4, level 3, compared to a level 3, level 2, and a Paladin who is still not yet getting resurrected by ToD. Quite curious about this, actually, as he's purposely staying in no upkeep for as long as he can. All right, now bursts into low upkeep there at 63 over 84 supply, training up off of dual barracks, dual knights, Flying Machines getting trained in, Spellbreakers getting trained in, as ToD racing towards that mid-70s supply cap. Why don't Undead players choose an Alchemist as a third hero with an Orb of Corruption and Acid Bomb? Some do, but the problem is that at that stage in the game, the Death Knight's Death Coil is just so strong at keeping your own heroes and your own units alive, that adding a third hero that isn't undead, that can't get healed, is a bit of an issue. All right, I believe Arcane Vault was taken down right there. We are looking at, what is this? XlorD using Unholy Frenzy on these Crypt Fiends, and the Crypt Fiends are actually attacking very, very quickly here, able to burst things down much more quickly than I would have expected before. Death Coil saving that unit there, as the Paladin is back out onto the field. Mountain King is still getting Staff of Sanctuary healed and waiting to join back in on the fight. I have seen Orb of Corruption coupled with Acid Bomb. That negative armor does become very, very scary. That damage over time as well. What's even more scary is Acid Bomb coupled with an Abomination's Disease Cloud. Suddenly, if you're able to use that Disease Cloud and Disease Cloud, get a whole bunch of units low on hit points, and then use Acid Bomb to finish them off, that really does become a problem, as that damage over time, Disease Cloud doesn't kill units, but Acid Bomb does. Alchemist has his own healing. Yes, Alchemist does have his own healing. How many times have we seen an Alchemist just absolutely bursted down, since he doesn't have that much armor, and, adding in a third hero late in the game? All right, coming back around, Flying Machine's going to try and engage, be able to finish off the Destroyer. In comes the units here. Archmage saving up one unit, continuing to fire, bolts around. Mountain King trying to finish off some of these units, as the Flying Machines now no longer have a target to attack. Death Knight now trapped in a bit of a situation, as the units are still trying to retreat. Flying Machines still nothing nothing to attack here, as the Knight should really be trying to engage and take down some of those Crypt Fiends. Knight low on hit points. Is he going to get healed up? Not quite sure. Down to 197. There he goes. Lich now using a Scroll of Town Portal. Knight still gets taken down. Crypt Fiend finally gets taken down here, as Disease Cloud is spread across many of these units. Mountain King, Spellbreakers, Knights, all going to be forced to try and retreat back again. We do have 2-1 upgrades on the human armies, Spellbreakers and Knights. Flying Machines have 1-1 upgrades, and being able to burst down those destroyers very, very quickly. Well, one of the ways that XlorD is making sure that these fly machines don't become too powerful is he's not training that many air units. He at most so far I've only seen XlorD with 1 or maybe 2 destroyers out in the battlefield, and well, ToD has a squadron of flying machines, I believe over 12, to try and combat the destroyers if they do end up massing. So far, we don't see the bomb upgrade on those flying machines, and they're not going to be able to do anything and essentially be a waste of supply. The 76 supply army, 61 supply army, and if 12 of that supply is only on flying machines that can attack air, he really only has a 49 supply army to deal with, well, the 63 supply army that XlorD is currently bringing to the table. Repairs underway on that blacksmith. The Crypt Fiends, with their Unholy Frenzy, actually able to deal quite a bit of damage. Flying machines making their rounds across. Are they going to be able to finish off the destroyer? Yes, they are. And now what are the flying machines doing? Absolutely nothing. They're just sitting around, perhaps going to be absorbing web, but even the Crypt Fiends know, you know what, I don't have to do very much of anything here. Another Knight gets taken down. Mortar teams with Fragmentation Charge, hoping to deal damage back to those Crypt Fiends, as well as the Death Knight continuing to wander around here. 54 supply compared to 49, as the Crypt Fiends are getting taken down. There's a denial right there still. A Death Coil trying for the save. Knights are getting taken down. Level 5 now on the Lich. Lich could be able to get an even more Frost Nova across multiple units. 65 supply compared to 54, and those flying machines really without a target to attack. More peasants getting taken out again. More flying machines getting destroyed. Death coils for the save, as the flying machines unable to attack anything here. Lich still sitting at level 5. Death Knight sitting at level 5, and we're looking at a little bit of damage just being absorbed there as peasants are getting taken down. All right, ToD is in trouble. 62 supply compared to 59, but well, those flying machines still an investment, but as a counter to destroyers that really were never massed. Lich now making, and this is actually one of the problems, right? You can see that XlorD is sitting on 3 dead obsidian statues. Those obsidian statues have very little mana, and at any point could turn into destroyers. So ToD has to invest into the flying machines in order to counteract them. And then, well, because XlorD sees that there are that many flying machines, can just say, you know what, as useless as my 3 obsidian statues are, they're still getting a little bit of mana. They're still doing something. They are more useful than your squadron of flying machines, which are truly not doing anything at all. All right, more damage. Big Frost Nova. More peasants getting taken down. We are coming in for a flank here. Knight's going to try and come across. Lich doesn't have that much mana. A large number of web getting taken down here, and this may be a bit of a favor, as ToD may get into low upkeep or no upkeep here in just a second. All right, Staff of Sanctuary trying to save a handful of units. Here's the counterattack that ToD was waiting for, trying to bide his time, and now has done that. Stormbolt onto the Crypt Fiend. Crypt Fiend did not have the Orb of Fire debuff and was fully healed back. Flying Machines now going after some additional targets. I believe took down 1 destroyer and now has nothing to attack again. Now, there goes another abomination, but that is a lot of disease cloud to try and absorb, as the obsidian statues are now getting taken down slowly but surely. Death Knight does have Unholy Frenzy. Going to try and continue to Death Coil. Does Death Coil, but I believe he missed the wrong Crypt Fiend there, as 1 Crypt Fiend still low on hit points. Flying Machine still looking to back away. Death Knight is going to be able to get off another Death Coil here in just a moment, as the units are still backing around. More and more units are just falling again and getting the Death Coil off onto the Lich. Lich now trying to retreat back here. 52 supply compared to 41. There goes another Necromancer as it gets taken down, and XlorD is looking to set up an expansion of his own. Lich with Frenzy, very fast auto attack, and with Orb of Corruption spreading that negative armor debuff all over the place as the Death Knight and Lich clearing some creep camps only to get a bit of gold, no real experience as both of those heroes are already at level 5. Now remember, in this matchup, we've seen ToD running off of 2 bases, mining longer, having superior upgrades, and it looks like he was able to barely hold off that attack. We're looking at more priests joining in on the battle, and no more disease cloud to go around as the paladin sits at level 2, waiting to get Brilliance Aura and, well, get a little bit more mana going. ToD summoning water elementals, don't quite know why. I doesn't look like he's preparing for battle anytime soon. And the timed life, well, that water elemental may just be summoned and then splash down into a puddle and water the grass here on Autumn Leaves. 65 supply compared to 48. More Staff of Sanctuaries saving flying machines. No more gold in this gold mine here. ToD looking to perhaps finish mining this gold mine here as a flying machine has scouted out and perhaps spotted that there is an expansion up and running for XlorD. XlorD has plenty of time to mine. He has 20 more minutes of mining to go compared to the 6 minutes of mining for ToD. ToD needs to close out this game. Otherwise, he will find himself in an uphill battle unless he establishes an expansion of his own. Paladin, well, important trying to get those odd level numbers. Paladin will be able to get to level 3 here in just a second, and at level 3 come across with level 2 Holy Light and perhaps keep the Archmage, Mountain King, and Paladin alive and up and running. The clock is ticking. Yes, it is. Fly machines getting ready to go. 2-1 or 1-2 upgrades and 2-2 upgrades. Well, mortar teams clearing out some trees. Not quite sure what that was about. Two mortar teams are down here. Abominations. There is one abomination here. There are some rogue wizards. Death Knight perhaps going to try and pick up some additional items, and this could turn into a potential creep jack. But then again, we're talking about a level 5, 2 level 5 heroes and an army behind it, clearing up a 3-1-1 creep camp, which should be relatively fast, dropping down some sentry wards. All right, in comes the Knights. Knights have 2-2 upgrades, do have war drums to increase their damage, an additional 7% damage output on top of their Sundering Blades on all of those Obsidian statues. And here we are diving straight on it. Obsidian statues, well, not transforming into destroyers. Fly machines have nothing to attack. And here we are once more. Fly machines up in the air, attacking nothing. Battle raging on here. Knights trying to attack things down, but we are looking at a good amount of frost armor. XlorD looks like he's going to be losing some more abominations. 73 supply compared to 57. ToD taking his time in this attack and really coming out on top. Paladin could be in trouble. Maybe forced to use a Divine Shield, but it is currently on cooldown as the Paladin does get taken down. Death Knight and Lich, however, don't level up quite yet as we're still looking at more mortar teams bombarding right here. Death Knight continuing this pressure, and it looks as though the expansion could end up getting taken down here. Death Knight trying to finish off another Crypt Fiend as heals the Lich as we are looking at a bit of denial right there. Mortar team denial, and the Death Knight is going to end up falling, and that is going to be the game. Beautifully played by ToD, able to stick around and hang around in that game. The resource score making a major difference in the end, allowing him to train up more units and even adding insult to injury, that little bit of splash damage from the mortar team, able to deny an experience on the Death Knight. I don't know how close that Death Knight was to level 6, but if that Death Knight did get to level 6, it perhaps could have trained up Death Pact at that moment and turned the tide of that battle. Oh yeah, it's a sudden, well, accidental denial with mortar team splash, well, saving ToD in that final push. Thanks for watching. Thanks for listening. Hope you guys enjoyed it.